Good afternoon, everybody. John Hunt here from MarketingPlanGuide.com for another edition of our free marketing plan Q&A. We do this every Monday from 3 o'clock to 3:30 Central Time. The purpose for doing this is simply this, to allow you to ask any question relating to creating your marketing plan. Okay, our next question is this, which is, what is your tip for leaving the best voicemail message for a cold call or a current client? And this may have been a follow-up from one we had a week or two ago. If you go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/marketing plan guide, you can see many of the questions from previous weeks listed there individually. I take our replay and I cut it up into individual questions and post them on our YouTube channel. So anyway, we talked about the idea of having a call sequence and some of those things. But let's talk about some voicemail tips on how you would actually leave a voicemail. And the first point is, first of all, I would treat a cold call different than a current client, mainly because you have a relationship going there. And in either case, what I would say is, always answer this question, the reason for my call, and you fill in the blank. You know, we talked about in one of our other questions in a previous week, the ECHO theory, ECHO, every call has an objective. And you need to have an objective, a reason for why you're calling, otherwise you're just going to be a pest. But when you're cold calling, and that's less, and that's kind of a scary term to people, but basically it's people who haven't developed a relationship with you. The only reason it's cold is because you don't really know them yet, but you want to move that, and this may be one of your objectives in leaving a voicemail for a cold call, is to just get people to know who you are. You're not going to sell them anything on a cold call saying, I suppose unless it's, hey, we've got a great deal on carpet cleaning, it's good through this Friday, it's half price, give us a call back, here's our number, okay? But if you're trying to develop a client relationship with somebody, you're going to just say, hi, Jim, the reason for my call today is I'm just trying to introduce myself to you and let you know that your company may be a real good fit for the services that we offer, and the reason for my call today is, boom, here's the deal. I just want to let you know about, or whatever it follows that particular piece. And if we move to the third point on there, plan your follow-up sequence. You're going to have a different follow-up sequence for a cold call or a potential prospect than you would for a current client. A current client call sequence may actually have more customer service elements to it, whereas a cold call campaign or follow-up sequence may have, I want to have some awareness there, and my ultimate goal is to get either a in-person meeting or an on-the-call, on the phone direct call. Like, hey, the reason for my call today is I'd love to spend about 5 minutes on the phone with you just to familiarize you with a few of the things that we do. I promise not to take a lot of your time. In looking at your website, I really think that what we have to offer and what you have to, your audience or whatever your language is going to be there's a good match, and I'd like to just spend about 5 minutes. I respect your time. Here's my number. Now, if you remember from the other video, if you haven't watched that one, when we talked about the follow-up sequence, and I think that's the actual question, is what's the best follow-up sequence? You never want to leave the ball in the other person's court, whether it's your cold call prospect or your current client. You always want to say, hey, give me a call. Here's my number. Here's my email. You can either call me or email me. If I don't hear from you, I'll give you a call back, which is going to leave the door open for you to call another time. And again, back to the reason for my call. Hey, the reason for my call, I tried to leave you a message a week ago. I know you were really busy. Just trying to connect with you. I'd like to get 5 minutes on the phone with you. Here's my number, or whatever you're going to do. In the current client call sequence, follow-up sequence, you may do things like saying, hey, the reason for my call today is just want to make sure that the new lawnmower you bought from our hardware store is working for you okay, if the owner's manual was, whatever you're going to do. But you don't have to sell on that. But you do need to have a reason for your call, a very planned follow-up sequence. And I think that's the important thing is, remember, to create those follow-up sequences different for a cold call versus a current client. We do this free marketing plan Q&A every week, 3 to 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Marketingplanguide.com/questions is where the replay will be posted, usually within 24 hours. And also, usually within 24 hours, we'll get the link for next week's registration. So if I didn't get to your question this week, make sure you register for next week's program and submit your question in advance, and that'll get it at the front of the queue for our next session. And that link is usually up in a few hours from now, and then the replay is up usually by tomorrow at the latest. But make sure you submit your question and get on next week. Even if you can't make it live next week and you want your question answered, get it submitted in the queue, and you can always watch via replay. We do this free marketing plan Q&A every Monday, 3 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Again, the replay you can find at marketingplanguide.com/questions. We don't do this on holidays, major holidays, but every other Monday in between. So this is John Hunt from marketingplanguide.com saying so long until next Monday.